for the Fit for Life 2-year project. They were highlighted at the project's closing ceremony, which took place at the Hilton Trinidad on Monday night. The aim is to help businesses with entry into the European market, which Trade Minister Paul Gopi-Skun says will lead to enhanced trade relations for this country.
Diversification, which we speak about all the time, in trade is crucial, not only for promoting growth and resilience, but also for stability. And this is especially important for small island developing states like ourselves, Trinidad and Tobago, that continue to face challenges and remain susceptible to exogenous shocks.
The minister adds that a vibrant private sector serves as the heart of a successful economy.
The private sector is encouraged, therefore, to take the lead in driving diversification initiatives, while the government plays a supportive role in fostering development by creating an enabling environment.
And one such business hoping to get into the European market is Carry Chocolates. The husband and wife team, who grow their own cocoa and make their own products, is one of several businesses which participated in the Fit for Life Europe 2 program.
We now have to put things in place with regards to getting all the certification, satisfying all the regulations to make sure our product can enter the European market. So we know we have a good product because we have won several awards from European competitions.
In other business news, the ProMan Foundation is celebrating 2 years of dedicated work in skills development and building communities across Trinidad and Tobago. The company marked its second anniversary last week at the ProMan Starlet House of Music in Port of Spain, bringing together leaders from various sectors, including energy, finance, and business. Speaking at the event, ProMan Foundation Chair and Executive Chairman of ProMan Trinidad, Claude Cronberger, reflected on the foundation's purpose. He says it's about inspiring individuals whose stories bring meaning to the foundation's work and the volunteers that make it happen. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices.
So that is some business news coming out of trade and industry. Diversification. The big word man who does write all the obnoxious pieces. He's from I-95.5, the Ralph Mirage one. Who does write all the obnoxious pieces in the papers. Always speaking about diversification. He will not speak about this. You see, diversification happening there. Trade and industry, you see a couple who is growing their own cocoa, making their own chocolates, Kerry chocolates, and you all check it out. I need to go and start to look for it too. So they're going to try to get in on the European market along with other persons. And then we have ProMan. They invested in the youth and invested in skills training and all that. So, but again, I want to feed the negative into your head, but we here will show you all the truth. And it's up to you all to share the life and let people know what's happening. I'm doing my part. I'm also seeing UTT. We'll have sign. I'm seeing. I wonder if it's some feature on my phone, my iPad giving problems. So I'm seeing 20 hours ago in the Guardian, UTT signed Cyber MOU and the Ministry of Digital Transformation and the University of Trinidad and Tobago has signed a memorandum of understanding focused on advancing the local cyber security landscape. Wayne Naked, National Chief Digital Officer, MTD, this MOU represents a crucial step in enhancing cybersecurity services in Trinidad and Tobago and highlights our commitment to building local talent and expertise to protect our nation's digital infrastructure. In a release, the whole thing just went. In a release yesterday, the ministry explained that the MOU will outline several key initiatives for collaboration, including cybersecurity courses. Opportunities will be made available at no cost to registered members of the MDT, the D Hubs program, to enhance their skills in the high demand field. It will also provide real-world projects and internship for students of UTT who will have access to more practical industry-relevant experience through partnerships with MDT. ensuring they are well prepared for future careers in cybersecurity. Additionally, MTD and UTT, so that is Ministry of Digital Transformation, that is MDT, and UTT, University of West Indies, University of Trinidad and Tobago, will collaborate on cybersecurity research with an aim to drive innovation and developing solutions that address real-world challenges. The signing ceremony took place at UTT's Tamana campus and was attended by Professor Clement Mbert, Chairman of the Board of Governors, UTT, and Corey Belfont, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Digital Transformation, as well as Professor Stephen Joseph, President Acting of UTT. Right, so in his address to attendees, Professor Mbert commended the collaboration between MDT and UTT and underscored the role this partnership will play in bolstering Trinidad and Tobago's cybersecurity capabilities. He acknowledged the recent success of the pilot collaboration of both entities earlier this year when UTT delivered a live instructor-led training course, Introduction to Cybersecurity, to the D-Hub community. An average of 110 participants attended each session, with 91% expressing satisfaction with the program and 95% affirming that they are willing to recommend others to it. So remember last year, probably earlier this year, I can remember we had some type of cyber attack or something, so that went out with data, information and all that. Well, UTT and the Ministry of Digital Transformation have teamed up. There's a memorandum and they are training people in that area of cybersecurity, and it's young people. So they keep saying nothing for young people, but I will keep bringing the things to you, and it's in your hands. I'm also seeing speed racing, and I saw a woman, a female name, so I was like, they ate a woman in Trinidad in speed racing, Papa, me didn't know that. So I said, let me take a look and see just a minute. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, speed racing. I'm not seeing any comments coming up, so I don't know if it's something went wrong on my side or not, but I'm usually seeing, I will see Hadara and Miss Yvette and Roxanne, Malcolm, the whole crew. I ain't seen anybody today. So I hope you all are here. So this was in Guardian. This was in the Guardian 22 hours ago. It said Garcia gives credible performances at Las Vegas National Speedway. Trinidad and Tobago Naomi Garcia performed credibly at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada, US, from November the 13th to the 17th. The 14-year-old represented this country in two classes, the KA100 JR class and the 100cc platform, placing 11th, and the more powerful X30 junior class, a 125cc platform exceeding speeds of 75 miles per hour, where she placed 18th. Papa. And they didn't have a pity of her. From the start of the event, Garcia was consistently in the top 10 of all practice sessions in the 125cc by 30 JR class. Only I don't know what them things mean. Who into fast car driving, they might know. Although struggling with engine issues, she managed to be in the top 25 out of the 84 drivers in the 100cc KAJR class practice session. Well, qualifying in motorsports is crucial as it determines your starting position for all of the heat races. The further to the front of the grid, the better your chances of winning and moving on to the final event. In the KA100 JR class, Garcia was able, only this is a 14-year-old Trinidad and Tobago female, a girl, young person. Garcia was able to secure 24th out of a 84 in qualifying, which was excellent considering her ongoing engine struggles. In the X30J class, she had the pace to be in top five, but to everyone's disbelief, during the qualifying lap, there were contemptuous acts of impeding by other competitors, placing Garcia a disappointing 30th in the grid. That what did us do? They see talent from the Caribbean and it hurt them. No, impede she progress, but don't worry, she's shining. Even with the odds stacked against her, Garcia, through sheer determination and passion, was able to work her way through the 3 heat races for each class to secure her position in the finals. Out of 84 drivers in KA100 JR, only 34 automatically made it to the finals, an accomplishment in itself. Garcia started at the finals in the 20th position, and on the first lap, she was able to pass 5 KARTS. I don't know what that means. As the race continued, she kept her cool, finding the right moment to push herself forward. With each turn, she gave it everything she had. Her hands gripped the wheels, her eyes sharp and focused. As laps wore on, she gained more and more ground until she was within striking distance of the leaders, gaining a total of 17 positions. Stealing the crowd heart by showing her raw talent, Garcia finished just outside the top 10 in 11th place. In the X30 final of the top 46 drivers, Garcia started in 14th position and had a great start. Unfortunately, heading into the turn 3, there was a crash in front of her, and though Garcia did all she could to get around the crash, she got pinned by a driver from behind. The two wicked boy, which sent her and her car, oh good, sent her and her KRT, the car, spinning in the air. Oh good. The field of talented young drivers searched ahead, just putting her to the back of the pack with major damage to her car. However, Garcia refused to give up, and thankfully she was able to continue the race. Naturally slower due to the damage, she pushed herself harder with unwavering focus. Her mind calculated every move. With each lap, she started to find her rhythm. She closed the gap and started to pass one by one. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Garcia crossed the finish line, securing a respectable 18th place amongst the 46 junior drivers. Competing amongst drivers from around the world, many of whom come from countries with a rich racing history, and most who have access to state-of-the-art equipment and year-round practice. These drivers are always racing, always refining their technique, always a step ahead. They have entire teams behind them, sponsorship, and access to the best tracks in the world. The reality is, in a small country where there's no karting tracks, with no access to the kind of rigorous ongoing training required to compete on the world stage in motorsports, Garcia is often at a disadvantage. Yet, even with these challenges, Garcia's spirit was unbreakable, and over the last 2 years, she had used every opportunity possible to travel to nearby countries with karting facilities, to race, to learn, and to improve. While the scenario may not be ideal, it has helped keep her dream alive. Oh God, I want to tell Naomi Garcia and she parents and them, Jesus Lord, 14 years old, driving that thing, this cart where they say, where fly up in the air, they bounce it, they penny and they crash, and you do so good, and you ain't have the sponsorship, you don't train down here, nothing you have to go all over to learn. Nah, you deserve an award. I take my hat off and the flowers I give to 14-year-old Naomi Garcia. In coming forth, with come what she placed, is out of 84 drivers, she placed in the top 25, and then in the finals in the next one. It had 10 qualifiers, but because of the accident and all that, and she still come back after the car fly up in the air and all kind of thing and whatever, she still was able to place 11th, just inching all. But had she injured Ting and good, and she began that little crash and thing, and not even she crashes, people crash in front of she tried to steer around it and thing, but somebody pinched she from behind, and for that pin, it sent you up in the air. Oh, yeah. If I was there, would have pulled me off the field. Or the wherever they just call it, Papa. But congratulations, Naomi. Whew, I get really excited about it. So I am seeing also some young players in lawn tennis. And this says here, It's opening, it's opening, it's opening. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm seeing the people to interact with all. I'm just seeing some things up on there, and it said 35 people on the line. Hi, love you all. Thank you all for always coming to still locked in and tuning in. I don't know who it is. So in the Guardian 22 hours ago, Alam, Mac, and Mohammed sweep squash titles. Papa is young people. While them saying it's so hopeless and all that young people living, living the life and doing what they have to do, Huh? Anthony Allen, Cohen Mack, and Rahim Mohammed all walked away with titles when Squash TNT held its November to remember junior graded squash tournament at the Racket Center of the Queen's Park over last week. Allen played unbeaten in a four-man round-robin Group A playoff over the past 4 days, and on the opening day last Thursday, he brushed aside Marcus Camp's camping in straight. So his Marcus Camp's camping in straight sets 11-4, 11-1, 11-5, and a day later he disposed of Ross de Duran 11-2, 11-8, and 11-7. God, them neighborhood this boy. It was de Duran's first loss of the playoff, and having also beaten Camp's Camping, by the fella name, his surname is Camp's Camping, 11-6, 11-6, 11-2 on Thursday. Alam later sealed the title by sealing a 3-0. So it having in Ting 11-5, 11-7, and 11-4 victory over Shanjiv Mongol. The latter secured the run-up spot in the group with the loss against Alam, which was his only defeat. He finished with his wins over Camp's Campaign 11-2, 11-3, 11-3, and 11-9, and De Duran in straight sets 11-4, 11-2, 11-8. Meanwhile, Mac also prevailed over the group of 7 players in Onkrong, beating both Sanvi Chattergoon and Evan Guran by identical 3-0 margin. So he win there again. And then Chattergoon now triumphant in double matches also. Mac still stopped him in a close contest when the two met on Friday. Listen to me now, it's all them things. So here we're going on. Congratulations to Alam, Mac, and Mohammed for sweeping the thing. Young people at it again. I wish I was there. So, I see Minister Young again. That's the man who bringing home the deals on contract law. It's not an easy law, international contract law and things are skill, You don't get up one morning and say you can negotiate nothing, that way Kevin Ramnaran couldn't negotiate that thing. So this was 20 hours ago in the Guardian. Minister of Energy, BP, signs shallow water contract. So the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries announced yesterday that a negotiated production shared contract, PSC, for block NCMA2 was signed by the government and BP Exploration Operating Company at the Ministry's International Waterfront Complex head office in Port of Spain. The ministry explained the award of this PSC stemmed from the ministry's shallow water competitive bid round 2023-2024, which was opened on October the 2nd, 2023 and closed on May 2027. At the signing of the PSC, Minister of Energy Stuart Young SC said, my constituency, Port of Spain North St. Anne's West. The Ministry of Energy, this is what he said. The Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries continues to aggressively market and execute concessions to promote exploration and investment in the upstream. This marks the second PSC signed in record time in 2024, and the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries is committed to working with upstream operators to boost the supply of hydrocarbons and secure TNT's, Trinidad and Tobago's energy future. Block NCMA2 is situated in the North Coast Marine Area, NCMA, in water's depth of approximately 200 meters. Entry into this block marks a significant milestone for BPEOC, which as it represents the operator's first endeavor into North Coast region. BPTT said NCMA2, which is located approximately 30 miles off Trinidad North Coast, will open a new era of exploration for the energy multinational in Trinidad and Tobago, as all current production comes from the Columbus Basin of Trinidad East Coast. In a statement issued by BPTT, the company president David Campbell said, continued exploration activity is crucial for sustaining our industry, and I'm very pleased that we have secured this block. The NCMA area is new to BP in TNT, and I'm looking forward to maximizing its potential. Although geographically new to us, we will be able to draw out our 50 plus years of exploration experience in Trinidad and Tobago. Also present are the signing of Penelope Bradshaw Niles, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Energy, Sandra Fraser, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Energy, and David Campbell, President BPTT. BP Exploration Operation Company Limited and BPTT are both subsidiaries of BP Global. So that's some good news there, and it's the downstream of the money is made. That is why Petrotrin refinery they closed, because them had to buy crude oil, and the crude oil operators here wasn't digging up enough oil to give them to be able to make the amount of money they could make with the products. So whatever little they get here, they still have to buy thousands of barrels of crude oil away with the foreign exchange money, US money, and to come back here now to refine it. Whereas the downstream, which was the exploration and production part of it, was making the money. That down there, the hydrocarbon is with the gas and the this and the oil and kind of thing. And now, as Petrotrin, the refinery is not a burden on nobody neck, the exploration and production area now is called Heritage. And Heritage has been making back millions of dollars to pay off the refinery debt. But they ain't gonna tell all of that. So let me continue, Papa. I tell all again it here, you know, we go reach to the back and as just now. So I'm also seeing, let me open it and make sure it's not the same thing, because I'm not going to be reading the same thing twice. Let me just make sure. Okay. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Yeah. Let me see the name of the same people there. All of that runs PPTT energy sign in, contract, negotiate block of thing. They have these two stories, right? It's the same thing, right? So you just did that. I just read that. So let me continue. In Tobago, I see a woman complain. Somebody, it sounds like a woman's voice, complaining about potholes in Tobago. I told this short, stupid looking one who feel he's the best infrastructure or whatever. It ain't because it ain't have nothing like that is good roads alone in Tobago. However, listen to this woman, Papa. I don't live Tobago, so me, you know.
So this morning I am asking the Division of Infrastructure to fix these big holes behind the mall, close to where the doubles man is. These holes just keep opening back up. They need to be fixed properly because my wet man getting injured all the tires. Y'all need to fix it. It is horrible for drivers. There's the location. Right here to the back of the mall. If y'all could fix it, please. You're playing a dodging game and then you know white shirts are on. If you could fix these holes.
Right? So, well, I hear she says what's her fault. I hear she says the government fault. But I hear she calling who is the one to fix it. Why she call this stupid looking one name? He's not an infrastructure and all kind of thing. Me and not Tobago about all. No, this is some good news in Tobago. But it's ironic that when Sandals came to build and develop, Watson Juke basically and PDP all them saying at the time, paraphrasing, that they will have, paraphrasing, it will have the young Tobago boy and girl like this massa times, you know, slave thing now dress up and they back and call and ting 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 and it ain't good for you and blah 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 blah. And they run sandals. Sandals take up the whole shoe, sandals, everything, and they get out of it. So I'm interested. I'm happy that they accepted Marriott Hotel, but I want to know, in Marriott Hotel, you think you have bellboy or girls, or you think have people serving drinks and all that. That's the same thing. So that tells you they on politics and they want self-interest and not about the people. So here comes Marriott and listen to this. Very good news interview.
Mr. Abood said upon the change of the THA administration in 2021, he contacted and met with Chief Secretary Fali Augustine and other assemblymen in Trinidad.
We had a meeting last week, a couple of hours, for us to explain the project to them, and at the end of it, we got a resounding approval.
Mr. Abood said he walked the proposed lands at Rocky Point with the Chief Secretary and a team of experts.
We went to the river 2 or 3 weeks later, we walked the line, the Chief Secretary brought all kinds of people, and we spent an hour and a half on the land, and the process continued.
He said the process is now in the hands of the Environmental Management Authority.
By June next year, once God willing, we get the sign off from the EMA, because that's the critical element now. And once we address all the concerns and we actually submit our final plans to our country, because right now it's conceptual.
As for local employment upon completion of the 200-room hotel, Abood expects approximately 180 local persons to be hired, while a world-class chef is needed.
We estimate that we will probably employ permanently on staff what we are between 150 and 180, of which I am very hopeful that 99% of them will be Tobagonians. And the only individual right now I can say cannot be from Tobago, and I already she said cannot say, but the general manager has to come from a pool of general managers from Marriott.
Abood said the completion of the A&R Robinson International Airport expansion project would assist in bolstering more flights to Tobago. Vendors, taxis, people from the local entertainment industry, tour guides, the fisher folk, and the other sectors are expected to benefit when the Marriott Tobago is opened. Here's Pat Williams, T6 News.
Right. Just a couple of things quickly that jarred me, right? So you hear about all the downstream coming from the opening of a hotel. It wasn't the same thing I was saying, but would have happened with sandals, the tour operators, the cars, whatever. And you hear Mr. Abood is saying the airport that is to be completed very, very soon. That too will create avenues for his hotel, I'm sure. So prosper, because when people fly to come, and the hotel, you know, the airport is this beautiful thing. You have the flights, so it's a combination of stuff. All that will happen with sandals. They run sandals. And who built the airport? It's not Dr. K. Christopher Rowley and the People's National Movement building the airport. Is it the UNC or is it FALI and TPP or TPDD or whatever? No, not only that. They love to speak about the 1%. Isn't it as if the 1% are not citizens of this country? Isn't Mr. Abood a 1%? How nobody's saying anything about the 1%? Let me tell you something, got to follow them people and study them people. So let me continue. So I am saying that PNM screening is continuing. Remember just recently there was a hot topic about the fact that PNM having internal election and because of this and this one talking. Now that they don't. Then they start up a whole thing about putting this one against that one and this one, which I found was totally unnecessary, because at the end of the day, if your party groups or whoever it is nominate you, and that is the process, you go before the screening committee and you pledge your case there, and then after, whatever. But some bacchanal, that quiet down now. So I'm seeing that screening is continuing, and also I'm seeing some exciting things because there is democracy, PNM style democracy, that there is a contender for the Sentence East constituency. I think that is held by Dr. Nine Gatsby Dolly, who is also the Minister of Education. And I'm seeing a challenger. Well, of course, he has to get the party group to, the process has to happen and whatever, the screening and all that. Brian Lara's brother. And you know, they are staples of Santa Cruz. So it will be interesting. An exciting time. So this is in the Guardian 20 hours ago. PNM to continue screening in 15 constituencies. Lara challenging Gatsby Dolly in St. Anne's East. PNM San Fernando East supporters have produced a jumpy election tune supporting incumbent Brian Manning for the seat. Okolole Senate Femina. In St. Anne's East, incumbent MP Dr. Nine Gatsby Dolly is getting the majority of the support from party groups despite competition from telecommunication professional Lyndon Lara, the brother of cricket legend Brian Lara. This was confirmed by party's official as preparations continue in 15 PNM held constituencies for a December 2nd screening of nominees for those areas. All the incumbents have submitted consent letters to party units, including their willingness to be nominated. The nominees will be screened in 6 batches by a team headed by political leader Dr. Keith Rowley at Balizé House from 5:30 p.m. Remember, Dr. Rowley don't have, as a political leader, he has no veto voice and that kind of thing like long time. I think that is how it is here. The 15 areas represent most of the 22 seats held by the PNM. The party selected prospective candidates for the 19 constituency held by the opposition in September, and prospective candidates have been in the field working since then. Niaro MP Rushton Parry recently expressed concern about when UNC screening will begin. He said that the PNM had a head start and already had a candidate working in his constituency. Really? The PNM not always say falling apart? I'm shocked. The PNM not always say it has so much fractures in it and they can recover and all that. That PNM you talk about Rushton Parry and others, excuse me, that they have a head start because their candidate for that area already out there doing the work. I'm surprised. Yeah. Constituency executives can make recommendation on their choice of candidate, but ultimately the decision on candidates is made by the 9-member screening team. In St. Anne's East, Lyndon Lara was nominated, but Gatsby Dolly is so far getting the bulk of party unit support. Meanwhile, the election tune for San Fernando East incumbent Manning has been gaining popularity, but how many hear it? In 2020, Manning won the seat, which after his father, Patrick Manning, former PNM leader and Prime Minister, won a record 11 times. Also seeking the San Fernando East candidacy is Kokie Toruba councillor Teresa Lynch. The jumpy tune by San Fernando East supporters and party group promoting Manning includes these verses. Tell them, make way, we moving with Manning. San Fernando East. Make way for the Manning. Tell them Manning in San Fernando East. I wonder if you hear this. This one is for the greatest. They're quaking cause Brian coming. This, what do you think? You just jump and go on. I wonder if you hear this. This one is for the greatest. They're quaking cause Brian coming. They're sweating on the sideline. 2 Manning in their lifetime. There's problem. The votes go kill them. Like they never consider the fruit of all far from the father. Leadership in the DNA, Brian Manning all the way. Manning going back to represent in the parliament. Manning going back. They better bat in the crease. We moving with Manon and Sando East. Oh, God. Tell them in Coquille, Manon come in on Report Pleasantville, Marabella, Vistabella, tell them Manon come in. Oh God, I want to go down there for that. Amongst the 19 areas to be screened, among the 15 areas to be screened, the unopposed incumbents include the Hocata, Talparo, Foster, Cummins, Arima, Penalty, Beckers, Faris Alwari in San Fernando West, Adrian Dillons in Lavantil East Movan, Marvin Gonzalez in Lopino West Bonnie, and Terence Yalsing in St. Joseph. The Lavantil West executive hasn't met yet to decide who they will recommend to the screening team between incumbent Fitzgerald Hines and attorney Kareem Marcel and Dr. Khalil Jasami. Oh God, Bacchanal. Labra executive meets on Saturday to finalize its recommendation. Superior Regional Corporation Alderman Christopher Inechias, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and Sinias, has a majority of support from party group and the constituency Women and Youth League, also seeking the candidacies incumbent Stephen McClatchy and Councillor Gillan Lewis. After the 15 areas are screened, there will only be 7 seats left to be finalized. The 3 Diego Martin seats, including Dr. Rowley, who blasted out all the place he worked hard for doctorate. Dr. Rowley, Diego Martin, West Constituency, and the 2 Port au Prince seat and the 2 Tobago seat. Let me tell all this something. No contact. Anyway, competition is so, but trust me, Port au Prince, North St. Anne's West, it lock. We're moving with young on the ground. Okay. I can make song too, you know. All right, don't make me have to make a song. I go ask me, say, you want me to make a song for you? Anyway, let me continue. So, this salary increase thing is still a talking point. And it means to say somebody has an agenda. Because I want to ask you all who are listening here, I can't see the comments, I don't know why. I want to ask you all something. The SRC, the Salary Review Commission, is the legal entity that makes recommendation for 235 government entities. And in those 235 government entities, there are about 900 senior public officers. That is aside from the politicians in the parliament and the Senate. So the opposition leader, the prime minister, members of parliament, senators, and that is a part of the 900. However, that is a small group. There's about 40 or something, so parliamentarians, whether Senate, this and that, I think so, right? Okay, so you all have a problem with the prime minister. And it's not just this prime minister, it will be any prime minister, because the prime minister's salary, not Dr. Rowley's salary, the prime minister's salary. You have an issue with the prime minister's salary being increased, because people are saying that they offered public officers 4%, and it is scandalous and all kind of things. They're saying that they would want to raise and increase the salary of the prime minister, and they ain't talking about the opposition leader, they ain't talking about the opposition senators or members of parliament. But they're not looking at it that also there are permanent secretaries, deputy permanent secretaries, the ombudsman's office, the senior officers there, customer excise, the senior officers there, the auditor general Jaiwanti working, she and she's senior officers to judiciary, judges, the CJ, and the list goes on and on, about 900 of them, right? I want to ask you something. You and your husband save all your money. Yes, we had gate, but you have to buy other things. You may have send your child to, or your son to Mona campus in Jamaica or in Barbados. I think there's one in Barbados. I can't remember, right? To study, or wherever to study. And your child come back and is a qualified, either head of customer and exile or head of the ombudsman office or any one of the 235 entities that is under the purview of the SRC, and is a senior officer, and they get a pay increase since 2013. You go be vexed that the SRC want to raise the salary, asking all you. Or if it's all yourself, or your husband, or your wife, or some family member who is a senior public officer under the purview of the Salary Review Commission, and they went and see, how hard they study. They ain't had light, sometimes they take the candle. The mother didn't have thing to send you. All that, and all they're going to tell me, all they're going to vex and quarrel and get on because the SRC make a recommendation. Just a recommendation. It ain't going parliament yet to start to this. It's just like the budget. When Kamala Prasad Sessa had sent down, they bring down a whole crowd of people to protest a budget that they even read yet. And when the budget start to read outside, Bolin, Rowley must go. So nothing happened with this. It's just a recommendation. It reached parliament yet. It ain't talk about yet. It ain't start to vote about yet. And all you're having problems with that. So nobody, all the current out of them 900, all they have no spouse, no husband, no child, no cousin, no niece, no aunt, no nothing. Is a senior public officer. So all they studying the fact that the prime minister, opposition leader, and members of parliament, but only studying Dr. Rowley. $1 million is recommended in back pay. If all was the prime minister of this country, or a child, or this, whatever it is, when they say that all was going to, but oh God, no, I don't take that money now. It ain't good look. You know the kind of stress and the kind of thing members of parliament, whether it's opposition or not, in the Senate and in the cabinet and all that, the cost people just cost them, the embarrassment, the business all in the road, all them kind of thing. They leave their practice sometimes, they flourish in practice to do service for this country for 5 years. Sometimes they might even last 5 years, whatever it is. So why not pay them properly? What is wrong in paying them properly? And when you pay them properly, we hold them accountable. What is wrong in paying a permanent secretary, deputy permanent secretary, and all them senior public officers the money based on their qualification? What is wrong in that? When you do that, we hold them accountable now. But you don't want to pay them money. A permanent secretary getting $37,000 around there and has to deal with a whole ministry with sometimes 1,000, 2,000 workers. Bacchanal laws in the place. This department have bacchanal with this why everybody running for he here or she here to think. Then they had to prepare thing for cabinet, had to think between the minister, they had their own family problem. Or they sit down there and play stupid with that too. I'll come to the public officers just now. So they want to make noise about this salary increase recommendation, right? I want all to hear this. I want to hear this. Just now. When I get it, let me see if it's this. This was a report from 2019, June 26, it says. Kamala's 2015 gratuity as Prime Minister, $2,238,000. Only how much? 2015. $2,238,000. I didn't hear all the complaining. I didn't hear all the news people complaining and this one on TV and social media and making TikTok. No, it was good for she for drunken master who had a 5-day weekend, right? Kamala 2015 gratuity as MP, that member of parliament, that is added to the prime minister gratuity, and I'll call it, as an MP. $751,968. Kamala current monthly salary as of 2019, $64,470. Kamala annual salary, that is back in 2019. So, and they didn't get an increase since 2013. So it means this is her salary still, based on what I read in here. Kamala's annual salary, $773,640. Kamala's current gratuity based on 20% of her current annual salary will see her receive $503,000 for the period September 2015 to 2020. Right? Her pay is made up of $44,470 as pension, transport $5,880, subsistence allowance $1,500, housing allowance $12,360. And after 2015 election, all UNC ministers receive a gratuity of $500,000. You didn't hear any talking then? So money good for them. Stay quiet. When we hear there was a kleptocratic, corrupted government, here money them get. But it's wrong now. And I want to tell all this something. This is my opinion. Let me just say, it will go to parliamentary debate. Let me just say that the government decide to vote for it. Let me just say that. I will guarantee you the opposition will abstain from voting. You know why? Because the government has the majority. So it will pass. And then, they will say, we didn't vote for it, It's them vote for it. We didn't. But you know what? All them go be getting it. But they will use that as a political thing to say, we never vote for that. We was against that. We abstained from voting. It wasn't we, it's the PNM. But whether they vote or not, if the government should vote on it, they will still get it, right? Okay. So let me continue. This is the next little short one. I find he must have Hubert syndrome. That is my opinion. Some man called Lee Hunt or something. He just pop up just so. And when you see the, in my opinion, I'm given, had them kind of issues. And then again, remember this month also is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. So, like, they're popping up. Lee Hunt at it again. Lee Hunt is saying, this 19 hours ago in The Guardian, they have him as expert takes issue with PNM statement and the PM statement on the forex. Now, this was a man that Dr. Rowley, I understand, he was in Nigeria. I'm not saying he's not qualified. He was in wherever, Kenya, one of them places, and them working in the Bank Republic or whatever. He came back, and I think he was made a senator or something, and then he became Minister of Public Utilities. And I remember there was some issue with he wanted, if I'm not mistaken, for us to have water meter as a way to pay for water or something. So everybody must have water meter in the yard or something. So, and I think there was some disagreement, and whatever, and they say he walk out. Now, I don't know if he literally take up his bag that day and walk out the office, whatever, but he just walk out. He didn't want to be no Minister of Public Utilities again. So it looked like when he get vexed, he can't get away. He just take up all the marbles and go. That sounds like a bully to me. Anyhow. So he has a lot to say because he's the brightest bulb in the room. Former Managing Director of Ansell Bank and Government Minister Robert Lee Hunt is not in agreement with the Prime Minister's assertion that the demand for the government to devalue TNT dollars is only coming from people trying to make a quick profit. On Monday, during the Prime Minister's question, Dr. Rowley rebuked the devaluation suggestion and said the pressure to do so was coming from special interest groups which have large sums of US in hand and stands to become wealthier if the conversion rate of the US dollar increases. But Lee Hunt, who is also a former executive director of the Public Bank Group, said he respectfully did not share this view. There is a genuine shortage of foreign exchange in the market, and Mr. Lee Hunt is not the first time under Kamala Persaud's predecessor there was a forex crisis, and the IMF would have suggested that it flow the dollar, and they said no. So this way you're talking as if this forex shortage crisis is the first time it ever happened. No, it did not. Let me continue. There is a genuine shortage of foreign exchange in the market, which has raised anxiety amongst the citizens across the board. There has also been genuine concern and calls by some devaluation in managed by and calls by some for devaluation in managed float, or for market forces to prevail, Lehunt told Guardian Media. He added, I believe, however, I believe that if that were to occur, I would curb demand for forex without necessarily resulting in a flood of people converting their US into TT. The reality is that there is a lack of confidence in TNT dollar. So even if the rate goes to 10 to 1, the mass conversion that the Prime Minister anticipates will not occur. However, Lehunt, who served as cabinet minister under Dr. Rowley, said if the government chooses to maintain the dollar at the existing rate, there are other options that can be looked at. And you see what I can take with these in my opinion, hubris syndrome talk. So if you know there are other options that can be looked at, because the way you talk, it seems as though floating the dollar was the only option. If it have other options, and the Prime Minister said he's not in favor and they will not be floating the TNT dollar, why are you still talking about it? Talk about the other options. So let us see if the other options and get the news to the Prime Minister, whatever, and see if they could use that. You see why I have to say these brothers and them like the hubris syndrome, stupid looking? Okay. There are other levers within the economic environment, such as control over our money supply, the interest rates, taxes, the level of the deficit spending, etc. That could be adjusted as suggested by a number of economists. So, Lehunt, why the ask you make and start off saying you're not in agreement with the Dr. Rowley? If there are other people are given other economists and they are given other avenues in which to help with the forex, why ain't come talking that? You come talking about it as if it is you firmly believe that the value in the dollar is the only thing. Now you're coming to set an option. You see what I tell you, these brothers and them, boy? I never see man, jealous man so since Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley come in office, in my opinion. It seems to be a kind of jealousy. Meanwhile, economist Dr. Indira Sajiwan is accusing the Minister of Finance and Prime Minister, you don't expect nothing better from she, right? Of creating a facade to purport that the TNT dollar is stronger than it actually is. She said, they just don't want nothing for this country, you know. But you know what? They wouldn't leave. If you're so bad, the dollar weak, we suffering, hungry, the place is a mess, we collapsing. How are they still sitting here? I would be packing my bag and looking to giddy up out of here. Because I'm economist and I'm this and that and that and I got the money. Why are they sitting down here? So it tells me all they know what all they're saying is not the truth. She said it's not it, like it or not, TNT was already operating on a floating market rate for US dollar. I think the Minister of Finance and Prime Minister can hold that position largely because while they continue to maintain an official exchange rate, the real reason for this economy is operating. The real reason this economy is operating is because of the black market rate, which hovers between $7.50 and $8. This is the rate at which everybody is operating because if you cannot get the money in the bank, you have to go to the black market. So the reality is the economy, given the current supply, is operating at the black market rate, Sajiwan posted. She said while she did not agree with the devaluation, she would support a managed float. The economist said the only sustainable solution to the forex crunch is to increase its supply outside the energy sector. Meanwhile, coordinator of the Confederation of Business Chambers, Jai Laladar, saying, I wonder if he's the one who was down in CDC, the Chagaramas, developing something we call all kind of racial thing he called and we could give me. You saw them just land on the feet if you see. There was African, if it's he, the same thing. Minister Stuart Young just says, Zami, oh God. Chamber Jai Ladadar saying, is happy the Prime Minister took a firm stance against devaluation. However, he to believes long-term solution must be looked at. He has to come up with a comprehensive plan for economic diversification and bringing stakeholders together to make sure it happens. Stakeholders in agriculture, stakeholders in tourism, service, and small and medium enterprise. He should also try to set up the e-tech park where SMEs can invest in these factories to get into further light manufacturing to export so we can earn US dollar. Isn't that what Madam Paula Gopi's school doing with the Phoenix Park and those things? Isn't that? And people did. Should set up e-tech parks where SMEs can invest in these factories to get into further light manufacturing to export so we can earn US dollar. That is what is needed now as an emergency, Lavada Singh explained. With respect to the finance minister attempts to meet with commercial bank as the government looks at the possibility of regulating their distribution of the forex pumped into the system, Lavada Singh said it was a much needed approach. These people talking one thing and then the next thing and next week, confusing people. They won't talk straight at all. Because to talk straight is to tell the truth. And then if you tell the truth, they find the government will look good. So there's segue here and seg there and all kind of shit that does do. When they still end up saying, it have another option than devaluing it. But they come in first strong. I don't agree with the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. But it have an next way. Right after they don't berate the government. Right after they berate the government, they have an next way, you know. So this is the Chamber of Commerce, I think in Faizabad, if I'm not mistaken. They also agree with the government not to devalue the Trinidad and Tobago dollar, and the thing ain't opening. So you know, once it ain't opening, I go move on. Excuse me, because basically it's the same thing. Right? Okay, so let me just read what it says. Faizabad Chamber is open, so I just read the headline. Faizabad Chamber of Commerce President Anji Jairam is of the strong view that floating the dollar will take up inflation. And that is what the Minister of Finance and Dr. Rowley would have said, excuse me, that if you were to float the dollar, automatically prices of goods will go up and who will feel it? It's the poor man on the ground always talking about, oh, they are telling, oh, they are buying my powder to think my nose, they are going to think my nose. This is, let me talk the thing. I can't be always sweating, so keep having. But the shine still coming through the powder, Papa. Yes, and it's expensive powder, so no time I buy no cheap powder, or you know the amount. Anywho, so as I was saying, let me talk the thing, what kind of thing does happen. So the Chamber of Commerce and Faizabad agree with the Minister and the Prime Minister not to float the dollar because they understand it will create inflation. Who will suffer? We. So let me continue. As the May grew under fire, died the mayor of Superior. I remember he had time how he did good cuss up when he was a councillor. Good cuss up a woman. Kamala still make that what is called Biram. He does look like Biram to me. Kamala still make to make a mayor instead of councillor. So me know she think the behavior will change. But with she, any behavior is possible. I just couldn't find it to show everything because I was to search so much. So all I remember is a bacchanal with the missing stockpile and thing from the stockpile and all kind of bacchanal and Hellboy, aka Victor Roberts, who used to drag the coffin. He become the corruption buster now he's an alderman in the Superior Regional Corporation. So he's the corruption buster. He talk out against it and whatever. So this is saying, you know, police probe into missing materials, Superior mayor under fire. By Meru. I mean, really reading all this with Meru. Meru does look. Just over 1 year since he assumed the role, Superior First Mayor Dugnat Meru is now at the center of a propose no confidence motion that threatens to unseat him and destabilize the United National Congress held corruption. Not corruption, corporation, sorry. Stop at the tongue. Freudian slip. It's in my subconscious to see. This is 14 hours ago in the Daily Express. So let me see what happening to he there. Read more. The motion was spearheaded by his UNC colleagues and Mondazir councillor Derek Boren. At the center of the issues are allegations of mismanagement and corruption over the alleged unauthorized removal and use of materials from the corporation Hicklin Village Faizabad stockpile, currently the subject of a police investigation. Former UNC councillor Jason Ali, who has since flipped to the People's National Movement Party, confirmed to the Express yesterday that he had reported the missing materials to the Faizabad police on October the 9th. He said he would not say precisely how much material was missing, but estimated that around 50 cubic meters of metal had not been accounted for. A borough memorandum dated November the 5th, shared with the Express by a source that had at the time noted the missing material and that the borough police inspector was contacted on it. The memorandum stated officers reported that the compound was too insecure. An investigation on the missing material and a plan for security of the stockpile has since been initiated. Speaking to the Express yesterday, Boren said during the borough committee meeting last week that the mayor criticized some councillors for bypassing procedures to access material. He said during this meeting, a project in Mondesi done in 2017 was singled out as having benefited from alleged corruption. After this, he said he indicated his intent to bring the motion against the mayor should evidence of wrongdoing not be presented. Meru on Monday told a news conference in which he said the motion will fail and that further called for Boren and Corporation Alderman Victor Roberts to resign in the aftermath. He yesterday doubled down on this statement, telling the Express he expected their resignation letters on his desk on the very day when the motion is brought. Tell Derek Boren to bring the motion, let it be debated, and I assure you he will be defeated, and I will see his resignation on my desk the same afternoon, Meru said yesterday. Oh God. But responding to the mayor call, Boren told the Express he does not intend to resign and could not be forced to do so. He could say that, but he cannot make me resign. When he brought a no confidence motion against the former corporation chairman Glenn Ramadar Singh and it failed, did he resign? He didn't resign, did he? Or remember Glenn Ramadar Singh who was in the Ministry of the People. The one it is alleged woman says she went to get a house and she had to bend down thing on she toes and she knees and all kind of thing and she face close to the and then he was the one who was on the air. The plane would touch the woman, tutties, the woman, and that the one who was singing with a guitar with a tune. Right, that Glenn Ramadar Singh. So he could say all of that. He is going, that is Boren talking and telling, he throwing back talk now for Megru. Because Megru telling me what, the day that motion come, they're going to win that money. Put your resignation letter on my desk, you and Hellboy, Peter Roberts. So the man saying that, he say, Megru talking to, he say, he could say all of that. He is going to the media and trying to gain public sympathy, but he cannot tell me to resign. He does not have the authority to do that. He didn't elect me. Boren on intimidation of fear. In a telephone interview yesterday, Boren denied corrupt use of material, adding he had not been involved in 2017 repair project the project that was called into question. He said, that project happened in 2017 thereabout, and the only thing that had to do with me, because of the urgency, I recommended a contractor nearby who had the equipment to do the job. That is all I did. From there, the administration kicked in. That is what brought about the problem. He is claiming I was involved in corruption. When he keeps talking to the public and making accusation, I will deal with that with my lawyers, he said. Oh God. However, he said his issue with the mayor was not one of alleged corruption, adding he had never accused the mayor of such. Instead, he said he believed Meru was attempting to lead the borough council through intimidation and fear. He is trying to lead the council by intimidation, and I'm not going to accept that. I have no problem working with him. He has a problem. He is very arrogant and doesn't like to hear anything that is contrary to him. Beram, that is not leadership. He had councillors there who are afraid to speak in meetings because they're afraid of him. Oh God, I should be a councillor down there. He said he was not lobbying for support for the motion at this time, but would resign if any of the content of the motion, which he plans to bring at the last statutory meeting of the year, is determined to be untrue. When the motion is read, if you can ask any member of council if it is not true, then I'll resign. Anything I put in that, any one of the councillors say it is not true, I will resign. Boy, I am not lobbying for no support. I will be going through the facts, truthful, honest facts. Nothing I am putting in the motion is made up. I will let the councillors decide. I am not going to call this one or that one if it fails, but no one can say it is not true, he said. But you know, if they say it's not true, you will resign. Come now, man. Boren said he plans to give official notice of intent to bring the motion today, but expect it will be debated in the second week of December. That will be my Christmas gift to him, he said. Oh, good. Megru. An attempt to sidetrack from his path, Megru, yesterday, characterized the motion as a distraction orchestrated by his political adversaries. A total of 10 votes in favor are needed for the motion to be considered successful. However, Megru told the Express that Boren was only able to secure the last 8 so far. So you get 8 out of 10. Oi, Papa. If Derek Boren wants to bring a vote of no confidence, I hope he's not going to open a door where he will have questions to answer as well. I know for a fact that they do not have the support of the motion to be approved by councillors. My councillors are very satisfied with the work that we have done this year, and we are quite dissatisfied with the behavior of Councillor Boren and Alderman Victor Roberts, he said. Meru questioned the intention of Roberts, who he said has issued criticism of him recently. He just plain smart with foolishness. Victor Roberts is a non-entity. You see what I talk about you? Victor Roberts, take that in your poor FM. The man say, imagine a man like Megru, who does look like he does drink beer rum, saying that you, Victor Roberts, is a non-entity. Well, let us look for that. No, wait. Right. He is just plain started foolish. I'm Megru saying about Victor Roberts. He just plain started foolish. And Victor Roberts is a non-entity. He will not make me lose focus of what I want to do for separation of the allegation and intimidation and fear. Megru said he had the support of his councillors. You could come and do a survey of my councillors, and that is the furthest from the truth. This is nothing to do with trust and leadership. The last 2 years have been very successful. The public have been satisfied with my leadership. And here they don't get water down there, and all they don't pick up the garbage in areas, all they don't pay, and then people just vote. Wah. It has nothing to do with Derek Boren and Victor Roberts, he said. When the motion is brought, I will ask the question and hopefully he was able to answer. I am waiting, and I wanted to bring evidence where councillors are afraid to talk. He added, asked if he intended to cooperate with the Boren should the motion fail and no resignation occurs. He said, I have to wait on the directive, but the motion will definitely fail because not even the PNM supports them in that motion. He said, why are they dragging PNM and all the corruption and Kankata and Bacchanal Meru? Asked if he would be supporting Boren motion, and he said yesterday, when the time comes, I will make that decision. I will debate on it also because there are some things I have to say. Let the investigation take the course, and whoever has to be held accountable, let them be held accountable, he said. That is the PNM council, the one close blow. The Express contacted Roberts for a comment yesterday, but no immediate response was received. Imagine Megru calling the corruption buster a non-entity. Victor Roberts only doesn't look for insult, yeah? So people to insult all you. All does look for people to insult all you. So, and see, Kamla Pasan Bissessa speaks at International Men's Day. And I'm going to please, I just want to tell Kamla Pasan Bissessa, you have no men in the United Nations Congress right now who could be no role model for nobody children in this country. So better you let's stay away from talking. Because you are no man in there who no child can emulate. David Lee and I'm Melinda Rabin. Ratiram who name calling and what? Alleged human trafficking. Paradat, who talking about people that son of a bitch and thing and getting on and that. Who again is that? Well, they give me a break, yes, and then you have a man like me who. And then you have counselors or counselor who taking out picture naked to send a little boy trying to groom a little boy. Then you have a next counselor masturbating and Senator MP. What kind of man are there? Then you have a next one drunk as a fish. Anel. Diamond and knocking us look like you're on some black substance. Them is man. Come now. Let me show them out now. The people like what you know. Let me go to this thing very quickly. There's a gentleman called Rondell Fields. And there was some match he had Sunday or sometime, whatever it is. And he would have spoken about the fact that Minister Yana Webster Roy didn't come to the work, although she was invited. So let me play what the minister said, what she PSA, and how Petty Betty come and make a video, which confirming to me what the minister must say is true. So listen to this. Listen to what the minister said, right?
These men and women let their feet do the talking as they marched to the Queen's Park Savannah on Sunday in an effort to raise awareness of the issues affecting men ahead of International Men's Day.
For some reason, we have abandoned men and their social issues. We're talking about suicide. We know the percentage here in Trinidad about 84 percentile. We know murder, 90.7 is the percentile. Men being murderers, 99% is the percentile. Homelessness, 94% is.
Head of the Fathers Association, Rondell Fields, said the march was an opportunity to shed light on the challenges men are grappling with in TNT. He, however, noted that a lack of visible government support was concerning.
Love is an acting word, you know. When you say love somebody or you're concerned about somebody, you just don't say it, you show it. You either put your money where your mouth is, or you put your presence where they are. And the fact that we have ministers from all over the region and none from Trinidad says something.
Fields confirmed that.
Stop it for a minute. All you hear what he said? He said to have ministers from all over the region and none from Trinidad. Let me continue. He also said, if you want to care, put your money where your mouth is or be visible, right? Remember those things I don't say.
The Minister Ayana Webster Roy was invited to the event. However, when contacted, she told CNC3 News that Fields was made aware of her absence in advance. She further confirmed that government endorsed the event and provided sponsorship. She labeled Fields' comments as unfair.
If Mr. Fields doesn't get his way, he threatens everybody to go to the media. I told my piece, I said, as a female minister, I felt bullied and harassed.
Right. All you hear what she said? She said, Mr. Fields is a man, if he gets his way, he does threaten to go to the media. That's what she said. He does threaten to go to the media. And she says, as a woman, she felt bullied and harassed. Let me continue.
And Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields is playing victim on an issue that is beyond him.
Fields rebutted and said he felt offended by the minister's comments. He said with regional cabinet members attending the event, there was an opportunity for discussions on treating the issues males faced beyond borders. Meanwhile, Minister Webster Roy reiterated government's commitment to men and their mental health, pointing to several new programs introduced since 2016 to foster development. Jesse Ramley, CNC3 News.
Right. So a couple of things we heard. We heard Fields say that government ministers from the region was at he march. He also said that you have to show that you love, you know, either put your money where your mouth is or visibly show yourself. The minister said, Mr. Fields is a person that if he don't get his way, he does threaten to go to the media. She as a woman, or female, she felt the word, what's the word she used? I'm going to say intimidated, harassed. She felt harassed and, being bullied, right? Okay, great. Let me read what the permanent secretary said. This was in the Guardian yesterday. Permanent Secretary in Gender Ministry said he attended the men's march on behalf of the government. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Gender and Child Affairs, Vijay Ganga Prasad, expressed disappointment with Rondell Field, the founder and president of the Fathers Association, for using his International Men's Day March as a platform to criticize Minister Ayanna Webster-Roy. The Permanent Secretary said he attended the march on behalf of the ministry. He said instead of focusing on the minister's absence, Field should have spent time uplifting men. On Sunday, Field said he was disheartened that no government official attended the march, the annual march, saying, "We love to fix men, but we don't like to help men." Now, I remember I tell all you, long-time permanent secretaries and deputy permanent secretaries that's under PSA is negotiate for them. Now they get big. Them under the Salary Review Commission, so them is senior public officers. So if them attend an event, they doesn't attend like a governor minister saying go or wherever it is. They does attend on behalf of the minister, who is the government, right? Okay. However, Webster-Roy said she informed Fields ahead of time that she was unable to attend the event, but she ensured it was fully sponsored by the government. You hear that? He said if he ain't come, basically what Fields say, put your money where your mouth is. If it was heavily funded and sponsored by the government, and they put the money where the mouth is, okay, moving on. She said the activist was making her feel bullied and harassed. Fields responded on social media yesterday saying, "The lies have been told about me on social media broadcast last night will be addressed with evidence after the conference. I hope good sense will prevail and apologies issued before." Isn't that bullying? Because the permanent secretary support the minister, so I want to say the permanent secretary lied. That he wasn't in the walk. And that they lie, the government didn't sponsor the event. Okay. He didn't specify what the lies were. But Ganga Prasad said he attended the march in his official capacity as permanent secretary representing the ministry. He also reiterated Webster-Roy's explanation that she was unable to make the event because of prior commitment. He noted the event was planned and executed in a very short space of time, with cabinet approving and providing funding. I thought it was a bit unfair not to recognize the effort, Ganga Prasad said. He told Guardian Media in an interview. The whole purpose of the march was lost because where the focus was on Mr. Fields, that he didn't see any minister there when it was just now. The whole purpose of the march was lost because of where the focus was on Mr. Fields, that he didn't see any ministers there when it was the ministers who were the ones who supported his march in the cabinet. Guardian Media also spoke with the minister's communication strategist, Sonia Bihari, who defended the ministry initiative geared specifically towards men. She explained that for this year, International Men's Day, the ministry organized a fully government-funded multi-day inter-Caribbean regional retreat. She also highlighted several programs organized to support men, including Defining Masculine Excellence, the Barbershop Initiative, the Youth Forums. These initiatives, she said, have focused on helping teenage boys, young men, and men in tough communities, creating safer spaces where they can openly discuss their challenges. Bihari also revealed plans of a men bureau aimed at providing ongoing support for men. She said it will include access to social workers, medical advice, and forums where men can share their concern and get help. She emphasized that the ministry is committed to creating programs for everyone, men, boys, women, girls, to ensure equality and national policy support. I want to play all you the video from Rondell Fields. Or you think these people easy? Just a minute. Let me get it. Yeah.
Hey, I hear they looking for me. I reach. I hear they looking for me. I reach. I hear my name calling up all week. I've said nothing so far because I know we had our International Men's Day conference going on and I wasn't letting people's emotional banter or emotional rants interfere with what we wanted to do. You see, people have a problem. They don't realize the difference between emotion and passion. You see, emotion and emotional rants, it will cause it to run off course. Many times when you listen to an emotional rant, it's hardly ever factually based. But you see, passion, and that's what people underestimate me or misunderstand rather me. They listen to the tone and they think it's emotion. Passion is driven by data. Passion is driven by frustration of when you have researched and it's not being considered or it's not being appreciated. So passion and emotion carries you in two different ways. And this week, a lot of people were emotional because a lot of people said a lot of things that were not true. I heard and I was informed about ministers being at a particular match. We will deal with that. I heard also that I bullied and harassed a particular female gendered minister who made it her business to include what she felt bullied and she felt harassed because of her gender. And I came from a family where my father was abusive to my mother, and I take it very seriously when somebody tries to project, particularly a woman, tries to project an impression to people that I threatened, made them fearful, or made them uncomfortable, especially when I know it was the furthest from the truth. So you see now, as everybody has been talking, who went on the TV show, who went on the radio show with Dale and Tony, and who put things in the newspaper, I will explain and show Trinidad and Tobago what really took place. Stay tuned. My turn to talk now.
That is a man who is the head of a single fathers association. That is how you want to address this thing. A female gender and passion. Let me tell you something, mister. You're sounding more and more like a bully. And any projection you're talking about is you projection. Because let me tell you, you could grow up in a home with have abuse and you might be hitting a woman or hitting people, but verbally abusive, it could be financially abusive, it could be sexually abusive, emotional abuse comes different ways: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. So it's not only physical. And the way you talking, you talk about passion. Don't mix it up. Passions and desires goes hand in hand, especially as a motivation. Langston and Brewer refers to Merriam-Webster to say that passion is an intense driving or overmastering feeling or conviction. This suggests that passion is a very intense emotion, but can be positive or negative. The passion that you have, you just lose emotional intelligence. You have to mix up the whole thing. Don't mix up everything in one. Don't mix up everything in one. We wasn't talking about, nobody talking about your tone of voice. We quite just have a tone of voice here. I don't talk loud when I'm ready. But I'm not abusive or bullying because I'm not trying to get nobody to do what I want or go the way I want to go. And if I don't get them to go so, I vex. But I got good fix. Them leader call them all kind of thing. That is on this program here. And because in the union movement we just use robust language, but me and bully forcing them to do nothing. Me and tell them they have to do nothing. I put the information out there and I talking from a factual position also. So the shit you're talking about is passion and don't get mixed up with your tone. Nobody wasn't talking about your tone, boy. We was talking about the things that you were saying because it's not corroborated. The minister, the people in the ministry, The permanent secretary said that the minister could not attend, and they let you know. The permanent secretary said the government fully funded your project. You is the one who say ministers from the Caribbean come to your work. That's how they talk about ministers coming, because I am not asked if you had ministers there and this one day, you should have highlighted, well, who come from Jamaica or who come from wherever it is. But you sound like it was lie. And you say if you could lie for small thing, you go lie in big thing. And you want to get around, come to sit down with your pants open, your leg open wide and thing. Die for we on the ground, we all know business and we not know head of this and that. And what you ever do to help young people or young men in your organization? What you ever do? What you ever do? You ever automotive run off, roll on, or whatever the thing that's called it? What you ever do to help them? I'm talking about wash down car, wash down car and shine car and all that. You help them to show them how to get into business, how you get into business. What you really do? Or is it about trying to get into politics? You're posting yourself, you're auditioning. Are you auditioning for the UNC? Are you auditioning for the PDP? Are you auditioning for PP? Or are you auditioning for NTA? Because you're looking at your audition and you want to show you're a strong man. That is not a real man, boy. That kind of behavior is not a real man, boy. That is not passion, boy. Don't get caught up and be telling people you're passionate. That's not passion, but data and facts. What facts you had when you're talking there? Because everything you say has been discounted. So you're lying based on where 3 or 4 people saying one thing, you saying something different. And you and all contradicting what you say. That passion? But you acting, that's something like real bully thing. Sit down and say what you have. You're coming, I'm coming. That threatening. That is verbal in a way. When I said threaten, not physical, no, but in sense, don't worry, I have my thing to say, to make people know, what? Where you call that? Okay, I don't like the word threatening, because you're taking it in the literal sense, and it tells me something about you. But you're bullying, because you come in to say, them talk, my turn coming, I go tell me what it is. Because for now, we watching it, you lie. You say one thing on your life, when they interview you, the permanent secretary said, you is the one saying ministers come from the Caribbean. I could play it again, I sure hear you say that. So then show the ministers who come. The minister said she couldn't come to a prior engagement, and I understand on that there's something to do. Somewhere she went or wherever the case may be. The permanent, because the minister will not respond to it, the permanent secretary will respond to it and she'll say, okay, I could or can't, whatever the case may be. The communication specialist will do that for her. And if they send her, tell her she can't come, what like a tracking the woman hour? Randall Fields? You're tracking the woman hour. What you only want? What she had to come there for? They sponsor the whole thing. If she can't come, she send a representative. Where was she working with you for? You are sounding good at all, boy. Let me move on, yes? Like it's a set of bullies they had them in the union movement are coming to them now. But passion, they're not a passion, boy. They're not a passion. Let me see what files they're going to come out with. Go and find things to talk on the minister and people who talk about you. And we go see you for who you really is. So I'm seeing that the port workers and stuff was protesting, and that and injunction was filed against them to stop to go back to work.
An injunction filed today by...
No. I don't have no issue with no worker protesting for the rights, the benefits, the interests. Once they do it in conformity with the Act, because we are ruled by Act, Civil Service Act, Industrial Relation Act. I don't get into that. What I was getting to is when union leaders and the executive leading their members down a particular role for their political interests. Because Roger and them is politician, and he said and them is politician, and they're fooling workers. Because them there for years and then do things for workers. It's like Lambert there for years and daily rated officers from NUJFW still going home without a pension. So I just have a problem with them union leaders who fooling members and using the members' emotion to stir them up to come out and get on and all that when them living nice and them ain't doing the work. So, and he said leading this march, I don't know if he's really the president or is the president. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. But I want to see what the registered trade union going to do, because you can't have a position as a registered trade union that you have the authority to do X, Y, Z, where union's concerned and you're not doing a job. But then best we don't have no department and no registered trade union. Because I don't understand this at all. Here say election's supposed to be next month. Nothing happening. And we're not getting a reason why it ain't happening. But we know they're using the constitution to hold it out until next year, March. So we're going to see how that goes. But with SWWT, I don't understand what's happening here. But let me hear them.
The Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago has ordered protesting workers to return to their duties, bringing a sigh of relief to the business community. The industrial action, which persisted until yesterday, spanned over 6 weeks, disrupting businesses and key sectors of the economy. The workers' grievances stem from a 12% wage increase outlined in a memorandum of understanding, which was later dismissed as null and void by the government, which has since countered with a 4% offer. Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan says the court's decision will help restore operations at the port.
As I said, this is a victory for Trinidad and Tobago on the whole, which includes the workers at the port, because at the end of the day, it's the port that pays the salaries. And if you shut down the port, then how will salaries be paid? So let good sense prevail. This is nothing about we versus them or anything like that. This is about keeping Trinidad and Tobago's reputation, high.
SWWTU President General Michael Anisette is disappointed in the port's approach.
All I will simply say is that it is unfortunate that the port chose to walk this road rather than meeting with the union, which would have, in my humble view, resulted in a decision that is in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago. We were talking about productivity, we were talking about efficiency, we were talking about what I will want to call bringing the Port Authority in line with international best practice.
On Monday, port workers refused to attend 3 scheduled meetings with the port's management, opting instead to gather at the Union Hall on Ryson Road. But responding to the union's president's latest call for dialogue, Minister Sinanan said he too hopes for an amicable solution.
And we will use this opportunity to find an amicable solution for this little dispute that is taking place. But we don't see the idea of shutting down the port every other day as a solution to the problem.
In a statement, the Port Authority said it anticipates that all workers will comply with the court's directive and return to work. Otto Carrington, CNC3 News.
Hear what I was saying, Mister. And he said talk about basically he's surprised that that is the way the Port Authority will go. But then the Port Authority say they invited them to 3 meetings, which they didn't attend. So if I'm just asking, let me be logical now. If I am the employer and my workers have a dispute that they say they ain't working on it, and I call it to the table on 3 occasions, come let me talk it out. And you ain't come, but you continue to be not on my job working whatever. What are you supposed to do? Let me be real, let me not study his government yet. Let me talk about workers and an employer. I have my business, my workers are disgruntled because they feel XYZ. They have a right to feel so all that. They're not working. They say they ain't working, and I say, watch me. Come, let me talk this out. I invite you 3 times, and you refuse to come and continue with your actions. Protest. What are you supposed to do as an employer? So let me talk about the government now, right? So that is important. We don't have any challenges with foreign exchange. We don't have any challenges with goods and how expensive and inflation and all that. So businessmen, the containers come in and they're just sitting on the port with, because it's sitting on the port not for free. And the goods perishing depending on what it is. And they can't get the goods because nobody will. When they do get the goods, what do you think they're going to do? No mark up the price to make back on whatever spoil and that to show you and all that. Who will feel it, not we? They don't get 3 scanners or something, so whatever it is. How come protest start now? I don't understand that. What the 12? I come into the 12% and negotiation soon. I just wanted to make a point with that. I also want to find out if it is in this country now that you could be, anyway, I shouldn't say if no, because it's happening. It happened already in union movement, where a union leader was promoted to the president of NATUC, and a union leader who also was promoted in the THA and also became the independent, the minority leader in the THA while on rape and sexual assault charges. He now has to stand trial for that. I Watson Solomon Juke. He was promoted to NATUC president by Ansel Roger, not Ansel Roger, by Anisette and them. Right? While Anisette was marching because of sexual harassment allegation made against Dr. Ralph Gobin, who was at Angostura. He was marching for the man to go. And it is the right to march if an allegation like that comes out, whatever it is. But it was protecting Juke. And the man had to go because he was reported to the police station, I think Mova police station, by an employee about sexual harassment allegations. The man didn't go to court. He wasn't charged and arrested, nothing like that. He didn't spend time in jail, he didn't come out on bail. All that happened to Watson Solomon Juke, but Anisette and them make him president of NATUC. And then they went across in Tobago to support the brother Juke. Now we have Anisette, who by documents we see is charged in the States, and it reads touching the woman tutties, touching the woman private part, and exposing his piglets. He in Trinidad, leading a march. So young people and women, the same way how he say his daughter, imagine if Dr. Al Gobin teaching his daughters how they go feel, they go be, uncomfortable. So women marching in this thing with a man who leading them, who on criminal assault, sexual charge in America. And nothing wrong with that. I want to tell you workers and them something, Sugar welfare workers had followed Watson Juke when he was shutting down here and telling workers don't work and thing on health and safety. And those sugar welfare workers, they followed Juke in that, and 3 months they walk off the work. They ain't working. They ain't working health and safety. They ain't working. They ain't go through the proper channel. Juke say, come out. The building, they follow them. And those unfortunate workers, you know what happened? Sugar Welfare Association took them to court. When the matter and they had was to pay back sugar welfare workers or sugar welfare association for the 3 months there was none of the people work. That was to pay back. You know when they come for help from PSA to see if they can help them, you know what they get? That has nothing to do with me. So I want to tell the port workers, while I understand they have issues, be very careful. Be very careful at the actions all they take. That in the event of XYZ, or they do it in conformity with what in black and white. You all may not like the Industrial Relation Act, you might find it outdated. That is okay. But that is what we have. All of them, brochure them was there and they didn't do nothing to change the Industrial Relation Act. So that's what we have. That we're going with. You might like the Civil Service Act, but that's what we have. It's a change. All of them do the time they try to change and I mean nothing.
This election was like war among them party. When I was more than sure they win already. Hussein Phillips said, tell them that's the last of P&M. But when the rest complete, is he who end up without a seat.
Not a damn seat for them.
Mama, that's what Chambers said.
Not a damn seat for them.
Not a single seat on election day.
Not a damn seat for them.
How they lose, they can't understand.
Not a damn seat for them.
They call in Chambers a Obia man. all jump and whine, making a big show. As they had the crowd behind everywhere they go. So they thought that crowd was both. They say they're gonna cut the throat. Sparrows start to fall when you hear not a
section 14, subsection 2. It says the Minister of Finance may from time to time make recommendations with regards to remuneration to be paid to civil servants. So the minister could tell the CPO, hey, I look at all this, that, you offend 5% or 6% or whatever the case may be. That is his right under the Civil Service Act, right? Also, they start to eat up themselves with who should initiate the process to start negotiations. When you look at the Industrial Relations Act, Section 44.1, it says, a recognized majority union or employer, the employer is the government via the Minister of Finance via the CPO. A recognized union or employer that proposes to initiate the negotiation of a collective agreement shall send to the minister particulars of several matters and things on which is to be negotiated. Simply meaning, if the Minister of Finance does not indicate to the CPO to initiate the process of negotiations with the recognized majority union, under the Act, under the Industrial Relations Act, the unions have the authority to also initiate. So if they have the wage proposal ready, the 3-year period coming to an end or whatever, because negotiating period, listen to the negotiating period is a collective agreement, that is Section 43.1 of the Industrial Relations Act. A collective agreement shall contain effective provisions concerning appropriate proceedings for avoiding and settling dispute and shall, subject to subsection 3, be for a term to be specified therein, not less than 3 years and not more than 5 years. Right? And section 3 is where an undertaking to which a collective agreement relates is likely to cease operation within 3 years to the date of the agreement, or a collective agreement contains special provisions which have been agreed upon subject to the conditions that such provision are to have effect for a period less than the duration of the collective agreement, right? Unless there has been some type of special agreement. When you go before the CPO, it is for a 3-year period, not less than 3 years and not more than 5 years, right? So I keep saying again, if the Act states that the union or the employer could initiate the process to start negotiations, and a negotiating period is 3 years. So let me take it to 14, 15, 16. So for the period 14, 15, 16, as a union, you have a wage proposal for that 3 years ready. You see that the CPO is not reaching out to you to start the process. You could reach out to the CPO, go and carry a dog, tell the CPO XYZ, we're making a date. And if the CPO, when you do all that, is failing to meet with you to start the process of negotiation, why nobody take it to court? Did I take everything else to court? Why did they not go to court to see judicial review to these areas in the Industrial Relations Act that I speak about, and the Civil Service Act, and file an industrial relation offense against the CPO and via the Minister of Finance for failing to meet and treat with the union for the prescribed years for the negotiating period? Because the union would have gone out to the CPO to start and the CPO refusing. Why didn't do that? They said on 14, 15, 16, 3 years passed, 17, 18, that is 5-year limit now, 19. And you can't negotiate for 1 year, 19. And it can't be more than 5 years, a negotiating period, and less than 3 years in for the CPO. So let's say all them years, and all they do nothing. All the wait until the government called the Minister of Finance, call all unions to a virtual meeting, so that would have to be after COVID-19 really. So that might have been 2021, somewhere around there. To a virtual meeting to show you all about the economic landscape of the country at the time, and they could only offer the 4%. That's where the whole thing starts, you know. The government called them and showed them an economic snapshot or whatever you want to call it of Trinidad and Tobago and where they are with money, and if they pay more than 4%, what will happen, what can happen, this could happen, whatever it is, right? And then the negotiation started. If the unions, as I said, had any data and evidence to show that what the Minister of Finance would have shown at that economic recovery seminar, whatever that went virtually, then the 4% may have been able to increase. But they had nothing to show. But they hold out, and in my opinion, they hold out because they didn't want the members to feel as if they just cave in. But they knew eventually it was going to reach where they have to accept it. Ask any one of them union leaders that. So right now, the only two unions who haven't accepted is PSA and NUGFW. And I understand the new NUGFW President General, I'm hearing on the grapevine that he is going to accept the 4% and also move on. The only union will be left standing is PSA. And I already tell all the liberties went in a particular department, a government department, and had a political meeting for the UNC and telling the members there, ban all the belly, tighten all the belt for next year and all the 2013 salary, because he looking, I just put in this part now, he looking at crystal ball and he see that UNC is going to win the 2025 election, and the UNC, this is he saying now, the UNC would have come up as Albicessa said on the Hansard in Parliament that she will give public officers 10% for the period 2014 to 16 and 17 to 19. And she also come out and say it on the road. So it means to say we go get it when she in office. And a worker asked him, if the UNC get into office, what you gonna do? You know what that dirty, that what that's cost? You know that dirty stinking red catterhead BITCH say? They go sign for the 4%. So why you have people suffering all now? And you wouldn't sign for the 4%. You wait until your government come in office. So that's what I tell all you. The unions, and I'm talking about PSAs who have weak public officers in this mess. And I'm going to say the others also, because they could have done something. But you know what they finally do? Sign for the 4%. And you know what is happening now? They start to go before the CPO for the negotiating period 2020, 21, and 22. Because had they continue holding on to this 4% issue, whatever it is, the time frame for this period here, 2020, 21, 22, could have reached the next 5 years while they're still debating on a 4% for 6 years with ongoing. So they cut the losses and they have started to go before the CPO. Tutor went, and apparently Tutor would have put the proposal on the table. It now starting, not yet start yet. I understand the CPO met with police and whatever. They are saying that their wage proposal, I hear some 90-something% almost completed, and they will continue. And other unions will also be going before the CPO. But you know who would not be going before the CPO for the period 2020, 21, and 22? The PSA. So while all the other unions getting a chance to go and sit before the CPO now with a wage proposal they put forward, because they have to put it in, and the CPO will go over with his technocrats and thing and look at it. And so when they come to sit down now, they will start to argue back and forth. Well, not argue, but negotiate, right? Sometimes it does get heated, whatever, because people emotion does the thing, whatever. But at the end of the day, the union is looking for the best for the workers. But this crop of union members here, leaders here, Anisette Roger, well, Lambert already seen, but Anisette Roger, them as politicians. Them want to be the employer, Because as union leaders, they are the employees of the members. They work on we behalf, but they want to be the employers. And how they want to be the employers? They want to be in politics and the politician. So how will an employer sit down and negotiate for the employee that will go against the business that making money? That conflict of interest, it will not happen. That is why they never settled nothing. That's why PSA never settled nothing, because Watson Duke was a politician. He was busy getting himself into politics. And at the end of the day, he wasn't interested in the workers, because he in the THA, he's a part of the governance structure. So how he could sit down and negotiate on the employees' behalf? Does that make sense? So that is why unions are where we are right now, and unions haven't settled since 2012 and 2013, and because people have been playing politics, or some of them don't understand industrial relation act, some of them must never went Cipriani, I don't know. But they're fooling members and going back with this long time way. Let me go on the street and start to get on. The days of those things have come to kind of... Going on the street is the last resort after you tried everything else. You can't go and sit in front of the CPO for 2 minutes. And because the CPO hold his or her position, you tell the workers outside or they're going to match. That is not negotiation. That shows laziness. That shows that they do not have the expertise to sit down and negotiate. You have to sit at the table until you get the job done. That is where your power is. Anytime you walk away from the table, you send a signal to the government that you don't have nothing. And the government will wait you out. But when you sit at the table and you back and forth with them, whenever they realize they have a fight on their hand. On the road, they don't have no fight. So have placard up and down. That is when you tried every single thing and nothing worked. But you can't put the cart in front of the horse and expect you'll get success and then cost the government. Start to cost your union leaders. I'm telling you that. Start to cost them, because what have they been doing? Cost Leroy Batiste, don't cost me. What has he been doing? Cost them. Who all kind of charge for sexual assault and this and that and all them things and standing up to defend all here. Cost them. Don't cost no government and no SRC. The people under the purview of the SRC, they went and get the qualification and the this and the that and the whatever it is, and they deserve the money. If the government choose to debate it and accept it, I them affair. Me ain't getting in that, but the point I'm making, you can't mix up that with public officers and this 4%. It makes no sense. The categories of workers in the public service is nothing like the workers who are under the purview of the SRC. Because in the public service, it have cooks like me, it have maids, it have cleaners, it have drivers, it have messengers, yeah, and it's going up. And them who are under the SRC, under the purview, is senior managers, permanent secretaries, heads of department, ombudsman 1, ombudsman 2, exile officer 1, exile officer 2, custom officer 1, 2. Them out of we league. And the unions don't negotiate for them. Them outside of we league. Unions negotiate for with the SRC can negotiate for, because anytime that happens, it means to say we category and status of workers will have to change drastically. And who will clean? Who will be the cooks and all that when you put it? Come now, man. So don't let the union, I am telling workers again, I'm not against any worker who's standing up to defend the interests and the benefits and rights of the workplace. I don't get into that. I'm just saying, don't be led astray because you're emotional about the whole thing by people like Anisette and Roshi and them. Don't let them fellas and them men deserve that kind of support. Let somebody else from the union do that. Not Ansel Roche and Anisette and Leroy Batiste. Them don't deserve that kind of loyalty. Them have done nothing for the union movement. All them want to get into is politics. They want to be the same bourgeoisie class who did us ridicule and pour scorn on. They want to be them. The same government and employer who did us say wicked and bad and evil. They want to be the same employer. So then all the wicked and bad and evil the same way. So don't let them fool all your postal workers, porters, port workers, all that. I'm not against all for marching or protesting for betterment. That is not my issue. My issue is the people, the union leaders who lead in all in them protests. Them who have a problem because them not annul them on their own personal thing. Them not annul workers. They always a means to end for them. And when the shit hit the fan, they go leave all the right there. I surely never thought that all get an injunction to go back to work. Because Annie said to them, must put on all their head. Yes. You see how we pipe down and talking her head. And you see, the fooling workers, boy. Get union leaders who is credible. Get union leaders who are not interested in getting into the active politics. Get union leaders who have the skill and the ability to negotiate on behalf. Stop taking these old relics who retire a long time and refuse to leave a leader. Where's Ozzy Merrick or Ozzy, what you name, Warwick or whatever? Why he does operate like he's some kind of stooge behind Rogers? So why he not in charge of the union? It ain't nobody young. Where's Morrison, the general secretary of SWW2? Where's the young people? Where them? The union movement should be reft of leadership that you have people like Anisette and Roger and Leroy Batiste leading. Well, thank God, NUGFW workers, daily rated officers, decided to vote in Lambert out because they want to be saddled with the same dead weight. So I say again, my issue, because you see, they go want to say against workers. I don't want workers. I'm a worker too. I load on the scale. My money is small money. I work on 2013 salary. They closed down the youth camp. Kamla and them closed down the youth camp. And that's a whole next story by itself. So I will never, I've always represented workers. I'll never tell a worker not to stand up for the right. But you have to do it in conformity with the acts that we under. Otherwise, you'll get yourself into problems. And when you get yourself into problems, them same union leaders who lead in all here. All the thing they march, tutor, they march in the road, and this one march, this one did march, this one did march, whatever. Hyping up all the body 4%, and they went and settled when all that could be avoided. Sit down and tell the members, listen, we don't have no evidence, no information to go contrary to what the government said, the 4%. We look here, we try here, we pull this, everything. We all think, listen, if we take the 4%, we know it's grossly inadequate, it's like something, we know that. And talk to your members. But you know why they couldn't do that? Because they sit down for 6 years and they do nothing. So even 2016, a union that said we sending meeting and the CPO in meeting with we, excuse me, and the Industrial Relation Act say XYZ and we have a thing ready and then you never hear none of them say nothing. They sit down quiet. Some people, I hear some imps, a young imps from industrial court talking about, you can't file no industrial relation offense, it can't be done. How you think laws does make us presidents? You just try and test the law. So if it was never done before, try it. Next thing it get you, you know what, that would be a big thing in the union favor, that when the union ready to rumble and they're sending the thing, if the CPO via the Minister of Finance refusing to meet with them, cut their throat. But they do nothing. So I'll always put the blame on unions. And again, I'm going to tell my comrades out there to just say, I can't be no comrade because I was a PNM and all that. All them marching, they always something with always PNM, UNC, PDP, PMC, wherever, all they do vote, all they know part, wherever it is, all they are part of something. So all the time, you know, shit, and I ain't no leader, no union. So I can make no decision that will impact all here and create no kind of conflict of interest. So whether I support the PNM or not, this is not PNM, this is black and white. All I read from is not PNM, that is black and white. The information I bring is not PNM, it's black and white. So let me know what it is. I know I talking about. I went and trained, and I took my training serious when the union sent, when PSA was PSA. The union sent 7 of us to go and study industrial relation, labor law, to come back to work and build and develop with PSA. And then 7 others went after us, and that is how PSA was. A place of learning, a place of education, a place of vibrancy. We know how negotiation does go. We are part of negotiation. So I take what I did very seriously. And I could stand next to all them deadbeats and them who they said is union leader and get them a run for their money. Let them challenge me. I don't know everything, but I could stand up and hold my corner amongst all of them. Them ain't ready for me. Because you know why? There is lighter workers. I will tell the workers the truth. And that alone make it very much different in the way I will approach things. So people, again, I can't even check to see all who here. Okay, let me see. Because on just now, okay. So Joel, Anne-Marie, Alicia, Rudolph, Rose, Leon, Marilyn, Elsa, Charles, Roxanne, Diane, Jenny, Barbara, Ezra, Glennis, Cheryl, Lenore, Hazel, Kathleen, Lydia, June, Nicole, Sandra, Marva, Kurt, Angela, Hazel, Oscar, Joycelyn, Helen, Ross, Rahans, Pleasantville, Kelvin, Kato, Robert, Lois, Nicole, Williams. Kato, you come from all of darling? You know you have to come here at the end of the day because you know how to be talking the truth. I take care on from that boy. You know that. You don't have to like who I like politically. You don't have to always agree, but you know I'm not lying. And that is why I just keep coming back, Kato, because you know I'm not lying. Right? So again, I'm saying, I hope they work out the situation at the port. And men who are bullies, they need to treat with the issues. I see Ministry of Health. I saw Minister Terence Allison speaking about programs they have for men. I would have been able to play it if I was using my tablet, but I'm using my hand phone. That's what I usually have all my research, so I can't go into it. So I hope Friday goes fair. We have something different. So my life is in 2 parts, and I hope you all get the first part. I posted it out and put the 2 together so that it makes sense. So I want to tell you all, have a blessed night. Yes, Alicia, holding the fort. Yes, Robert, I could hold my own. I ain't showing off. I ain't patting myself on the back, but I know enough I could hold my own. They may want to talk with me and no debate with me. Yeah? They might know more than me, but are skilled enough to learn very quickly, and I could get them a run for the money. Yeah? Because first thing I come in with is truth, and that alone will set me apart from all of them. Stop lying to the workers. The workers could handle the truth. Don't lie and pappy show them. Tell them it straight, let them make an informed decision. Don't put the dreams up and hopes up and all. No! From day one, after I hear about the circumstances, I say that the union should take the 4% and people customers stink. My own comrades customers stink and say it's a sellout, I don't like union. Because I saw what was happening, I saw the bigger picture, and I know it will come to that now. Every single one of them, except this politician, this tattered, dirty, stinking one in Leroy Baptiste, who say no in PSA. Well, Lambert gone, so it's a new man also. I ain't talking about NUGFW, I'm talking about we union PSA. That's the only person who inside. And here what he's saying. He crystal ball, where who tell he that UNC go come back. If they ain't come back, he go sign for the 4%. Why ain't sign for it now? So he in wicked and bad and stink. All ain't cussing he. PSA members all ain't cussing he. Who telling all the whole all the bell for next year? Because he know UNC coming back and UNC go give me 10% when he know that is a lie. And that's why I can't take with them. UNC can't give me no 10% for no period that done gone long time. They're not going to go back in time. They will deal with the current period in front of us. Don't let the Robertis fool or let no blast at 10%. They can't get no 10%. Not for them period. Go and negotiate for 10% for this period here now. So people, I love you all. See you all on Friday. Peace God. And best life ever under wicked Rowley government. Kato, well, if you don't like the life here, why don't go, boy? You could take a boat and go across to Guyana and live there. You could go to St. Vincent. You could even go by Trump. What are you staying here for? Why are you staying here and be unhappy? Let we stay and be unhappy. And we go work out the workouts. Yeah? But let's stay here and all unhappy. The country ain't going good, but all they're leaving. All they're leaving. All they're fetting, all they're drinking, all they're eating. All they're buying out everything in the store. All they're going all over the place. And come on, man. So people, See you all on Friday when I come with something fresh, something new. This is Girl Ginger and Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal mission of a Frederick, another edition, let me talk the thing. People, I'm sorry for the disruption and the cut in my life. Like they start back interfering with my life again because they know they can't take the truth. But we can always find a way to treat and do things, right? So people love you all. Thank you all for staying with me and have a blessed night. Ah, God. Kato, you know we love you, ah, God.
Fearless Warrior presents a 4-part series, Living with HIV. Tune in on Sunday at 8 p.m. for Part 3 as we chat with Ms. Lisa Ram Logan. This broadcast is for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. For more news, entertainment, and informative content, visit our Bounce Up Central Community Hub, the platform that's We Ting, created for we, by we. Keep the conversation going, even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat central at bounceup.com.